to shut the record holder off. A little bit later, I talked with him. Well, a very disappointed Bob Newberry crew already back at their pits, and Bob, it appears some oil was actually coming out of the block itself.
Well, we had a problem. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we've got a little hole in the side of the block. I don't know, maybe something probably came loose on the bottom end and got wedged between a rod and the side of the block and poked a hole in the side.
I know you were very reluctant to shut it off. It was the last thing you wanted to do, but Buster gave you that cut sign and he meant it.
Buster knows, and the reason I really didn't want to shut the motor off is it sounded fine.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't think there was anything wrong. I thought maybe the crew could seal or heal whatever problem that was on the motor. But it's a good thing Buster shut us off because it was leaking oil pretty good.
Well, everyone except maybe your fellow competitors really disappointed in seeing the world's quickest alcohol funny car out first round.
Probably there's 15 other happy cars here, and I'm probably the only one that isn't very happy right now.
With Newberry out, that leaves the door open for any of the remaining competitors. They're that tightly bunched together. Now, with the story of the other supercharged category we'll be seeing today, here's Big Daddy Don Garlits.
Steve, this is a top alcohol dragster. And how do you tell this car from its professional counterpart? Well, look for the small wing on the front and the short wheelbase and the small wing on the back. Other than that, they're about the same. This is the car of Ray Noonan. He was eliminated in the first round like Newberry, and they'll be thinking of the next race. They're all done here today. But this class, I would like to say, is probably, monetarily speaking, you get more miles per hour for dollar than any other class. So it's very exciting. And there's one other thing I'd like to state. This is the seating ground for the professional classes. If you'll look at our professional classes and look at some of the superstars, you'll see that they came out of top alcohol dragster. So pay attention to these names. These could be your superstars of tomorrow.
Well, Don, Ray Noonan may not have survived round number 1 earlier today, but 8 other drivers did, including this man, Jeff Rapp. As we enter round 2 of top alcohol dragster competition, you saw the electrical starter just spinning over the motor, getting it started, but there appears to be some problems for his competitor.
As we see Ederman's engine start, a lot of smoke coming out of the puke tank out of the back. This is the tank that's supposed to retain oil. They've shut the engine off. Evidently, Ederman has some mechanical problem that he can't repair.
Well, that is George Ederman sitting now quietly inside the car, starting to remove his gloves. And he'll be interested in seeing just how quick the man he should have raced, Jeff Rapp, will go. Because even though he has a single, you'll generally see all-out efforts by these drivers.
Yes, because they won't have lane choice for the following round.
Well, you can see the frustration for George Ederman. He is now out of the seat and helps push the car with the crew back away, and we get ready for the by run here by Jeff Rapp.
You know, so many of these Sportsman teams, whether they be an alcohol dragster, funny car, or other classes we'll show you today, are family affairs. Mom, dad, little sis, the family dog, all traipsing along to the races. A lot of them with motorhomes, camp out and make truly an experience out of the event. In some cases, the racing action is secondary, really, to the fun they have as a unit. Jeff Rapp is one of the best alcohol dragster runners on the eastern seaboard. He qualified number 3 to 6:21 with help from this man, Al Kinney, who is his crew chief. And from time to time throughout the day, Don Garlits will be talking to some of the victorious crew chiefs. All right, it is time for Jeff Rapp to receive his gift. A single run here in the second round, and what a break it is. Well, Rapp shows the motor no mercy. He's going for the best elapsed time he can possibly get for lane choice. 6.27 brings applause from his crew at 219 miles per hour. Right now, Don Garlits is with the man he should have raced.
Well, we had a little more trouble we could deal with.
Pardon?
We had a little more trouble we could deal with.
Yeah, we did. Apparently must have fixed your ring land or something or other. Started smoking there on the line. Nothing we could do about it but shut her off.
Well, that was smart. We don't want to get hurt.
Right, that's right. We don't want to spick any oil out there on that track.
Very good. Better luck next time.
Thanks, Don.
Well, George Ederman seemingly not too disappointed after being eliminated here, and a bye run for Jeff Rapp as we now get set for our next pair. It'll be Wayne Selco against Tony Liebherr. Liebherr working from the far lane, completing his burnout. Selco has the lane choice, works from the near side. Steve, meanwhile, is now with Jeff Rapp.
Well, Jeff, you got a freebie in this round.
Yeah, George was broke, and you know, sorry to see it happen like that, but it's just the way it went.
You've got your time slip in your hand. Do you like it or not?
We made a move on that pass to try something, see if it would go quicker. It basically stayed the same, so we're going to go back and look for something else.
See you next round.
Okay, thank you.
So Jeff Rapp seemingly satisfied with a 6:27 at 219 miles per hour.
And Don Garlits, those time slips have a lot more than just times on them these days.
Yeah, they have. They've got all types of information. They've got the reaction time. They've got the 60-foot time, the 330-foot time, the 8th-mile time, and some tracks even have the 1,000-foot time on top of your quarter-mile time. And believe it or not, that is a tremendous tuning tool.
And one used by the likes of Wayne Selco to qualify number 4 to 6:23. He beat Tom Baum in round number 1. His crew chief is Terry Smith. The opponent for the Smith-Selco combination will be Tony Liebherr. Liebherr out of Delray Beach, Florida, came a long ways to just outside of Montreal. And the man that helps him turn the wrenches is Ron Raymond. They qualified number 8 at a 6.51. So between Selco and Liebherr, Big Daddy, we've got a pretty good performance difference, but some of that could be made up by some good driving off the starting line.
Yes, it could, and these cars aren't quite as consistent as some of the professional classes, so they're not necessarily going to turn the exact time each run, Steve, so that means you don't anticipate there's going to be one certain car is going to be the winner.
One thing you will see with the alcohol dragsters, though, is tremendous RPM off of this starting line. Where a top fuel dragster leaves it at dead idle, they just stomp the pedal. Not so with these cars. They've got transmissions. They get the RPM up. Listen to them.
Lots of RPM there.
Liebherr gets the jump coming out of the slot, but it's Selco coming on strong, and he'll cruise to a second-round victory here in top alcohol dragster. Wayne Selco at 6:28, 191.
In Quebec, Canada, for the Molson Grandnational Sportsman competition. I'm Steve Evans, along with Big Daddy Don Garlits and Gary Gerald, and here's our next pair in round 2 of top alcohol dragsters. This will pit Don Blackshear versus Jeff Jones.
Blackshear working from the near lane, Jones on the far side, both completing their burnouts, both warming up the tires and getting ready to try to tackle this very tricky racing surface that has caused all kinds of problems for all kinds of competitors for many years.
Notice how far they do the burnouts, these alcohol cars. They really want to build heat. These engines run extremely cool with that methanol fuel, so they can go way down the drag strip and back up clutches calmly. They're not concerned so much with temperature.
Well, a little more maybe today just because of the ambient heat of the air. Sometimes you're right, though, Don, on a cool afternoon, you'll see the fuel injector and the blower completely covered with frost down at the far end of the racetrack. It's that kind of very cool temperatures involved. Well, Jeff Jones had a fine qualifying effort, number 2 at 6.18 seconds. Tom Jones is his crew chief. That's his brother. We talked before about the family quality of this sportsman racing. Tom Blackshear is their opponent. Blackshear is only 24 years of age, originally from Florida, where he was a mechanic at the drag racing school. Well, now he has a mechanic of his own, Bill Stanton, and they qualified number 6 at a 6.29, but improved on that number in round number 1 when they beat Mike Kopke with a 6.20. So there's really only 0.02 of a second apart between these two drivers. Lane choice went to Blackshear, and he has chosen the near lane.
You'll notice how carefully these guys stage. They don't deep stage because that high RPM, they could red light.
That's right. They stage only as deep into the beam as they absolutely have to. It appeared that Jones might have had a handle on this thing. He got crossed up in the middle of the racetrack. Blackshear